To be a champion, it requires heart and a relentless desire to be great. Here at Jaguar Women's Basketball, we call that being Southern tough. Join us here at F.G. Clark Activity Center all season long. Tickets are on sale now for 2017-18. Go Jaguars.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
It's Inside the Jaguar Nation time. How y'all doing tonight? I'm Morgan Beard alongside the Aaron Lee. And I'm not going to lie, it's been a heck of a good time on the Bluff the last few weeks, huh, Aaron?
Yeah, good things happen on there. Men's basketball team closing out a 3-game homestand, staying undefeated.
Yeah.
Then we got the women's team, great in the SWAC.
Number one
Coming up. And then also, we got some football news of some national recognition. Hey, Willie, Chris, Roman Banks, all the hard work over there at Southern University is finally paying off.
Oh, yeah, and it's no more evident than with number one, Danny Johnson, the Southern senior, taking part in the 2018 Senior Bowl. The first Jaguar in the last 23 years to make it to Mobile for the showcase. The week started on Tuesday with the first practice and media day. And even though Danny was rocking a different number, it was the same baller on display, Aaron.
Yeah, same guy as always. He was the same humble self, but when he hit the field, he was flying all over the place. He was covering any and everybody, making the most of that opportunity. He had a few pass breakups. He was moving to the ball well. One scout said he has impressive ball skills. The only knock is his size, but he has put on some weight, and he definitely showed that he can play with anybody.
I think I did real good today, just getting my hands on some balls in there with the bigger guys, just competing with them, being physical. So I feel like I did a great job of that today. I feel great to represent a school like Southern University and just being a small school guy here with a lot of big guys, you know, just going against them and just being able to show that I can compete against guys from bigger schools at this size and going to HBCU to show nothing wrong with going to HBCU as well. I mean, just keep competing, showing my versatility, showing that I can play different spots, you know, getting some turnovers. That's the biggest thing, and just flying around to the ball just like I did at Southern and giving great effort. For Jaguar Nation, man, I just want to say thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for supporting everybody that just left Southern, and we want to just keep making y'all proud.
And he would deliver on that, making the Jaguar Nation proud on Saturday. Johnson made his presence felt in the fourth quarter, like we seen him do on the Bluff, getting a pass breakup here, great defense. And Morgan, you know, what do you have to say about his performance yesterday?
Well, let's look at it. It's only one play here, but you see he allowed a little bit of cushion there. That's maybe one of the other knocks a lot of people were saying. But that makeup speed, probably more important than your top line speed of that 40 time, is that closing speed, that makeup speed. And right here, you'll see Danny Johnson. He allows a couple yards, but then as he comes back into frame, look at him make up like 2 yards on that play, getting in there, not pass interfering, getting that hand in there, and that ball incomplete. So Danny Johnson doing his job very, very well.
All right, now we talk about defensive lineman Aaron Tiller, who had his little go a week ago at the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, and he didn't disappoint either, Morgan.
No, yeah, you have two Jaguars here trying to make a name for themselves in these little all-star showcase games. Danny Johnson doing it in the big one, but here, some big plays for Aaron Tiller as well. He's in here on this play on the defense, but you know, NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, he's getting a chance to play with those D1 athletes, those big-time Power 5 schools, and Aaron Tiller, he's talking to you saying some scouts are noticing him, and these plays are why.
Yeah, see, Aaron Tiller has that motor. It doesn't matter where you put him. You
Active
can put
hands.
him inside, you can put him outside. He has that motor, and in any position you put him in, he's going to excel. Here on this big play, he gets the sack, which really showed his versatility. He has mastered that Dwight Freeney spin move, which is crazy that we've seen it all on the Bluff this past season. And he has definitely opened some eyes to some scouts saying, hey, his size may be a question, but that motor might make up what he doesn't have in size.
Yeah, look at the penetration here on this play as we loop it back and forth for you guys out there who were able to miss this one. He gets in there, crashes the pocket, and like you said, and right here there's a pass breakup again. You mentioned that motor. There's one thing. A lot of these plays right here, especially this pass breakup, some defensive line might have their hand down, but Aaron Tiller's got the wherewithal. Hands up, good things can happen. And then you saw it later in the game, crashing that pocket and getting a sack as well. So Aaron Tiller, Danny Johnson doing work.
Rooting for both of those guys.
National stage, and they are definitely getting recognized. And you know who gets recognized? Oh, that human jukebox, as we always bring you the sounds of the OHJ, and there they are doing it and looking good while they do it too. And hey, later in the show, we take a look back on how a number one on the field, and as Aaron likes to say, number one in your hearts, Mr. Danny Johnson, made it to this point. Some great stuff coming with Aaron and Danny.
But coming right up, we mentioned the basketball teams at the top of the show, and you want to stick around to hear for this.
That's right, both the men's and women's teams tearing it up, that and more right here on Inside the Jaguar Nation.
You're watching Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm, with Brian Holland, Morgan Beard, Ashley Lyotis, and Aaron Lee.
That's right, welcome back to Inside the Jaguar Nation. Morgan Beard alongside Aaron Lee as always. And Aaron, it feels good to be number one, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and that's how the Lady Jaguars are feeling on top of the conference at 7-1 going into Saturday, looking for win number 7 in a row versus Alcorn State. Southern women 7-1 in the SWAC, and it was a high-intense matchup when Alcorn comes to the Bluff. The Lady Jags are already up 30-27 at the half, and Brianna Green finds Jayen Tower with the finish. Nice little pass. She finished with 12 points, and then later in the second half, LaShawn Lagarde gets the shooter's bounce, touching all over the rim, and let it drop, Morgan.
Looking like a little Plinko there. The price is right for Lagarde there. Then off the miss, though, this is the way it was going for the Southern Jaguars. Get out that Windex and clean the glass. They do, and it finds Carrington Brown from long range. Leading scorer was Samantha Duncan. Lady Jags win 64-56, but Coach Sandy Pugh not pleased.
I'm gonna tell you right now, in spite of the wins, I'm concerned, and I'm concerned about our interest in terms of we can't get bored on the floor. You can't get discouraged. You can't get your head down because something didn't go your way.
I'm going to quote what Coach just told us in the locker room. We play hard when we want to. We play hard at times, and, that can't be the case. We can't just come out in certain points or certain aspects of the game just because we have a lead and just slack off or, take the throttle off, as Coach Jay would say. So, that's just something we have to change going forward.
All right, let's move on to the men's, and a few extra cheerleaders on hand at the Bluff as the men's also took on Alcorn State Saturday. Coach Warren Scott's mixing up the lineups, and here's Emmanuel Shepard, who finished with 11 here on the night, gets the 2. Then this will be at the first half, Alcorn A.J. Mosley misses, but then gets it back, and Maurice Howard gets it in for the putback. Jags lead by just 2 at the half, Morgan.
Yeah, persistence paying off there for Alcorn, but in the second half, Chris Thomas would have lighted up, the senior behind the arc for 3. It's good. He finished with 12 points. Then he returns the favor here on the assist. As you'll see, he's feeling it there, getting the crowd involved. He's here on the assist to Aaron Ray from the land of 3. Count it. You'll hear about these 2 in a second. And the Jags leading scorer, who else? Jared Sam doing Jared Sam things. A quick turnaround, Jay. Shoot it. Sam had 13. Jags win their 4th in a row, 61-48. Coach Morris Scott pleased with his new lineup.
We switched up the lineup a little bit and went to a little faster lineup. Where actually we went with Chris and Ed and Aaron out there. I thought that was a little different lineup, a little different mix, and I thought Aaron was able to give us a little more offensive punch, would allowed us to be better on the offensive end as well. And I thought Jared and Emmanuel did a great job of scoring the basketball in the post.
All right, let's look at some other notable stats. We got Eddie Reese. He finished with 9 points, 4 assists. Aaron Ray, 7 points in 18 minutes. But here's the kicker, 57% from the free throw line. They need to improve that. They can't be leaving points on the board.
Yeah, and not pictured here, our performer of the week. You saw him in the highlights. Who other than Jared Sam, posting yet another double-double, I should say. 13 points and 15 rebounds for the big man, our performer of the week.
Basically, I was just locked in. That's basically my job, to go out there and rebound the ball. But they challenged me today to see if I can go out there and get a double-double, which I did. But I didn't know I had 15 rebounds. Dang. To gel together. Like I said, we started off a little rough in the beginning of the season and in the beginning of the conference, but now we're on this little 4-game win streak. We're off Mondays, so that gives a little break to go in and play Graham Saturday, so we're going to keep this motivation going into that game. Is anybody night? Like Chris had double figures today. Emmanuel had double figures. It's just a low number, but it could be anybody night, any game. It's not what we expected because, we dropped the first 2, but it's good to see that we're on this good 4-game win streak, getting our way back up to the top. So I like where we at right now. I think it's a positive. Like I said, it could be anybody tonight. You know, a lot of people try to focus on me, but it's good though. If they want to focus on me, I'm not selfish. I like to swing the ball. It could be somebody else tonight, so you never know. I see that as a positive though. Just an extra pressure. More teams started to double me in the post. They really ain't double me today, but more normally teams would. So I wouldn't be surprised next time we're playing if they might do that. I don't know, but that's how I see it though.
And just like Jared Sam, the human jukebox always doing damage out there on the bluff. Time for another break, but coming up later, a really cool moment for Southern University. A one-of-a-kind situation that for the NBA that brought to you by former Jaguars.
Oh yeah, you don't want to miss that one. But coming up next, when we return from this break, we let you know what's going on around the bluff. And that's right, we're talking bowling, everybody. Inside the Jaguar Nation returns right after this.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
That's right. Welcome back to the show, and it's the thick of SWAC play in basketball. The women leading the way in conference play as the men are on a 4-game win streak. But that's not the only sport hitting its stride, huh, Aaron?
Yeah, as January is going by quickly, there's a lot going around on campus. The Jaguars are in the full swing of things, and here's what's coming up on the bluff. The men's and women's track will compete in the Bingo Bayou Invitational Friday, February 2nd. Now let's move to some b-ball. The men's team will face off against one of their biggest rivals with Grambling State Tigers on the road at 5:30 p.m. Then they head to Jackson State on Monday, February 5th for a late one at 8 p.m. And then they come back home on the bluff Saturday, February 10th versus Arkansas Pine Bluff at 5 p.m. Now coming up for the women, they're tearing it up in the SWAC, and they too will battle with Grambling State on the road as well at 3 p.m. Then they take their talents to Jackson State on Monday, February 5th at 5 p.m. And then they finish it off with the home game, February 10th versus Arkansas Pine Bluff at 3 p.m. As the season is moving right along, we're looking forward to those Jaguars doing some damage in the almighty SWAC.
Hey, but really what I want to talk, all that basketball, that's fine and dandy, but how about this bowling team on the bluff, Aaron? I know you've spent a couple minutes or so with these guys and girls out there, so tell us what's going on the bluff, bowling-wise.
Yeah, a little bit of bowling. It's kind of different. We want to give you that all-access pass here on Inside the Jaguar Nation.
Inside the Jaguar Nation, we're going inside this one, baby.
Can't get this from anywhere else. But the bowling team competed in the SWAC West Roundup in Dallas, where they finished with a 5-7 record, Morgan.
Yeah, Aaron, 3 bowlers finishing in the top 25. That's pretty good. Samantha Sellers, Colleen Sherman, and Sarah LaDuff all posting 170 plus per game. And yeah, that's pretty impressive considering I could barely hit 70, I think, last time I went out there to the lanes.
Look, if I get 90, we're going to celebrate. So we can definitely respect these guys out there on the bluff.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about how we're bowling, though. Maybe we'll get some video evidence of that coming. But, hey, what you do want to talk about, and especially hear from, always the sounds of that human jukebox doing it so nicely, as they always do. But it's time for another break, and after that break, we're going back to the football field. We get to know Danny Johnson, the man on the field and off the field. Hey, they're both great. We'll be right back here on Inside the Jaguar Nation.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Welcome back. I'm Morgan Beard. He's Aaron Lee. You know what it is. It's Inside the Jaguar Nation. Now, we focused on the Senior Bowl at the top of the show, so it's a perfect time to dig a little bit deeper here on Inside the Jaguar Nation.
That's right. We always get the scoop before everybody. Back in August, I got a chance to speak with Mr. Danny Johnson himself, and I saw his greatness and how remarkable he was even before the season started. Not only is he a beast off the field, he's also a beast on it.
Yeah.
He also graduated with in 3.5 years with a 4.0, and he's a stellar father to his 6-year-old son, Aiden.
With the pocket holding it up. And it's tall and it's picked off. Danny Johnson has it down the sideline. He'll take it in. Touchdown Southern. Just what they needed.
5'10" senior defensive back Danny Johnson has high expectations this season. After posting 9 interceptions last year, he wants to be known as a legend for the Jaguars.
My senior season, I set a goal to get 12 interceptions. You know, I just want to, I always set the high standards for myself. You know, I just feel like I want to be one of the best DBs that ever came through Southern.
Johnson is replacing speedster wide receiver and kick returner Willie Quinn, which he said he's learned a lot from. He considers himself an offensive weapon since high school, and anytime he touches the ball, he's thinking touchdown.
I felt like I was just an athlete in high school. I played defensive back, safety. I played corner, safety, quarterback, wide receiver. I even punted, so that was the biggest thing, just making the plays for my team, when we needed.
Johnson's passion for the game comes from things off the field.
Danny, just tell me, why do you play? Who do you play football for?
I play football for my son and my family. That's my biggest inspiration. So every day I just come out here and give it my all for them. At the end of the day, I want to be able to take care of them one day, just like they took care of me.
Aiden, his 6-year-old son, is Daddy's #1 fan.
He's real energetic. His biggest thing is being around his dad. Everything he sees me do, he want to do it. He comes to every game. He's in the crowd dancing. He feels like he's more important than my mom. Every game she goes to, he feels like he has to be there. Even the Bayou Classic, he was just like, I have to be in New Orleans. So, just having him here, just seeing that smile on his face just gives me, that passion to play this game.
It's evident Aiden gets his top dog personality from his father. In a one-on-one matchup, Johnson says he'll win that fight every time. He isn't shy to talk a little trash pre-snap.
In the game, if he says something like that, he's at that 10, it's just me and him, I'm telling you, it's me and you.
All right, show me that. Let's get to the 10-yard line. Let's show me that.
You might not
Don't look at the quarterback, man.
You might not leave.
All right, I'm letting you know it's a TD right here. Don't look at the quarterback. I'm gone. I'm letting you know it's lights, man, if you look at the quarterback. Said, hut. You know this for TV, right? I had to make you look good. I had to make you look good, right?
For Inside the Jaguar Nation, I'm Aaron Lee.
As Danny Johnson locked me up there, who else is keeping it on lock? The human jukebox, that is.
Hey, of course you want to talk about the human jukebox, a little subject change here after getting locked down by Danny
Look,
Johnson.
he's a potentially professional player.
Yeah, I'll give you a pass on that one, actually. I wouldn't do any better. But hey, coming up next here on Inside the Jaguar Nation, some Southern grads making some real interesting history in the NBA. We'll be right back.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Hey, we're about out of time on this week's edition of the show, but Southern was a part of something real cool this past week in the NBA.
Yes, it was. It was history, literally history in the making, brought to you by Southern University.
Yeah, that's right. For the first time in NBA history, 3 NBA referees who graduated from the same university worked the same NBA game, and on January 19th, Southern was the source of it all.
Yeah, Morgan, C.J. Washington, Bernie Adams, and Curtly Corcoran all worked the Phoenix Sun versus Denver game last Sunday, and we had to show them some love.
Oh, yeah, not often that ever happens, if ever again before that. So obviously, some great stuff. Now, we're about out of time, but a quick chance to reflect on the week that was for Southern. Danny Johnson, Aaron Tiller in those postseason bowl games. You think they got to be proud of their performance, right?
Got to be proud. Southern has to be proud. The Bluff has to be proud. Baton Rouge has to be proud.
Yeah.
And we have to be proud because we had another great show.
Yes,
as always, Morgan Beard.
Here, Inside the Jaguar Nation, for Aaron Lee, Brian Holland, Ashley Lotus, I'm Morgan Beard, and you heard the man inside the Jaguar Nation. We'll see you guys next week.
Winning doesn't happen overnight without a championship mindset. Come join me, head coach Morris Scott, and the SU Jags men's basketball team as we prepare for the upcoming season at the Mini Dome. Come join us. Go get your tickets today. Go Jags.